Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and today me and Susan are discussing a 1995 movie, um, which I suggested last week because I haven't seen it for a while, and I forgot what this movie does to me. Um, by the end of it, I was in tears without realizing it. There was tears streaming down my face. It's one of those movies. It's about a young man nicknamed Powder, with
Mhm.
these abilities what he had from his birth due to lightning. It's a strange movie, but it's also a heartwarming movie as well. Great acting in this from all the cast. Um, so I'm going to go over to Susan now with her opening thoughts on Powder.
Okay, it's a story that is it's challenging. It's really emotional. The kid, uh, um, Jeremy is for some reason they don't really call him Powder until the end, and but the he's afflicted with albinism.
Mm.
He's an albino, and he has the same kind of electric powers that are talked about in the new series Powers on Netflix, I think it is, or it's on one of the streaming sites. Anyway, it's about people whose inner bodies transmit electricity, and they can do things around them with electricity. And he's ostracized, he's bullied a lot, he's got a lot of issues. He's uh he's possibly he works he's working in isolation, basically, on his sexuality, because he doesn't really have all that many people who are like, are connecting with him. And so, I mean, he's at one moment he's transfixed by a woman, and the next minute he's transfixed by a man showering, and or a young person the same age as him showering. Um, he's a youngster. I mean, he's in high school, and he's the same age. I mean, there's nothing weird about how he ages or anything like that. But it is interesting that he just doesn't grow any body hair at all. He's completely bald, and he has in he has an inner trial of trying to really connect with people, and that's really hard. He connects with the character Jessie Caldwell, played by Mary Steenburgen.
Mm.
Mary Steenburgen is an excellent actress. I mean, just phenomenal. Like, I really enjoy pretty much everything she's been in. She brings so much compassion to the table. Like this, the way she connects with Jeremy, the way Jesse does, is similar in the way that she parents on Joan of Arcadia. Joan of Arcadia being someone who is incredibly connected with God, Jeremy being someone who's incredibly connected with nature with the electromagnetic field on Earth, so much so that in the end he just vanishes. I mean, I was talking to my pastor this morning about the way that people were describing, you know, how energy, so people becoming energy, or people becoming one with the energy of the universe and then vanishing, you know, that he walked with God and is not, you know, that kind of thing at some points, because of the fact that inside of it is the idea that there's knowledge wrapped up in there, that it's sort of Gnostic and stuff. But you know, if you don't know Gnosticism, then you won't pick up on that. You won't pick up on that connection. But his response to the trials of the people around him is to make himself a sacrifice. So that's also, I mean, there's what do they call it? An honorable death?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would go with that. Yeah.
And so I just think I think it's a really incredible movie. And I think that it's a really incredible cast, and the cinematography is really they really do a lot to the effects and the cinematography of the lightning and stuff. That was all really amazing. So anyway, yeah, that those are my opening thoughts, Lee. How about you?
Oh well, this as I said, by the last 20 minutes of the movie, I was just sat and didn't
Uh-huh.
realise tears was rolling down my face, because it's an emotional piece. You get to feel for Jeremy. You get to feel for some of the main characters. Jesse, the sheriff, uh, Doctor Ripley, who all connect with Powder.
Yeah,
Uh, they've all, and he helps them along the way. It, it's about fitting in. It's about being about the outsider. It, it
definitely.
the bullies at school, but there's one of the bullies what sides with him all the time. He can see he doesn't need this treatment. Um, yeah, it's a wonderful movie. I mean, I remember this coming out back in the 90s, and I was amazed by it then, and I'm amazed by it now. It's still got that punch and that pull, um, and a powerhouse of a acting class from Sean Patrick Flannery, who plays Powder. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, he's most famous for in this country. I don't know about in the US, playing young Indiana Jones in the
yeah.
Indiana Chronicles. Uh,
It's very he's very good in that as well.
yeah,
Yes.
and this is just an awesome part he does. And as you've mentioned, Mary Steenburgen, Lance Henriksen as the sheriff, uh, the wonderful Jeff Goldblum as
Oh my
Doctor Ripley.
gosh. Out of control. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, some amazing characters and some amazing actors. What are what great parts in this? Um, it's just for me. I think it's a very underrated movie. Not many people know about it, um, and I'm glad that I sort of suggested it out of the blue last week because I just pinched it from the ether.
So to speak.
let's do Powder. I haven't seen that one for a while. Um, yeah, I mean the story where he before he's even born, when his mother is hit by lightning while she's pregnant, while she's starting labour, um, starts off all these powers inside him with the electricity, the lightning. Um, but born albino, um, and his father wants nothing to do with him. It's
Mm,
he's not my son. Um, so he's brought up by his grandparents, but never ever sets foot out of the house. Lives in the cellar.
yeah.
Um, because well, he can't really go outside because of the effects of what Earth's um, the powers of the Earth. The electrical forces. The lightning, the weather, and what effect he has on.
And because of the, I mean, basically, because of the problems with being albino as well, because
Mm,
albinos need so much protection from the sun. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
I just needed to add
and
that to your statement.
he's also self-taught. He never went to school. His grandparents sort of taught him at the home, but they passed away. He's read, very very literate. He's a
And
genius.
he has like a uh, uh, what is it called? Photographic memory,
Yeah,
eidetic memory.
yeah. He can memorize any page on any book. Um,
Mhm.
and with the tests he has when he comes, that it turns out his IQ is far greater than anybody else that has ever
Okay.
taken these tests. Um,
So
but yeah,
that's what I mean by the knowledge
mm,
making this sort of a Gnostic story, because of the fact that Jeremy has so much knowledge.
mm.
Anyway.
But him affecting anything electrical, him magnetizing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, amazing, just amazing plot lines to this. And you do feel for, when he's been bullied, where, he's sat there eating his dinner alone at school, but then he's been bullied. He's been bullied outside school. Uh, you know, even by the deputy sheriff, he's been bullied.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's just a heartwarming tale, this for me. It was just great to sit down and watch this and just empty my emotions today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it was nice to watch this again. I hope people, after if they watch this cast, go out and find this somewhere online and
And
watch.
bring your tissues.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, the tagline on the DVD cover is beyond everything that makes him different is everything that makes him human. Um, great tagline. But so favorite moments for you, Susan?
Oh, I loved it when he's trying to jumpstart that kid's heart, and he
Mm,
just kept pushing. He just kept zapping him and zapping him and zapping him, and then
mm.
trying to do a little CPR in between. I mean, he knew how to do that, even though he'd never done it,
But
wasn't
he was
certified in it.
that was but saving the bully's life.
Yeah, he saved the bully's life,
Yeah.
and and
After humiliating him by stripping him naked in the open,
yeah,
he'd still turn around and save him.
yeah. I mean, he was a class character.
Mm.
And the other part I love is they go to test him, and he's a and Jeff Goldblum's character is like, you know, you were taught where? And he said, no, I haven't been taught. I'm self-taught, self-learned. And he's like, oh, because your IQ is off the chart. And I'm just like, man, how smart would you have to be smarter than like Einstein
Mm-hmm.
and you know, um, anyway, I just that's fantastic. It's really a cool part of it. And then the other part that's really amazing is his that first storm that he's out in, uh and how he just draws the lightning right to himself, and it just hits him right in the chest, and then it goes into all the other light bulbs and stuff. I mean, that was amazing. I just thought, wow.
Yeah,
And like I said, the cinematography and those effects are really good. And and um, Sean Patrick Flannery did a great job as young Indiana Jones. So I mean, he's played these absolutely astonishingly cool characters, and yeah, and it was written and directed by the same guy. Let me see, what was his name? His name was
Victor Salva.
Victor Salva, and Salva has done. Um, he did a bunch of like horror stories, uh, like Jeepers Creepers, and let's see, director. Um, he produced Dark House, Rosewood Lane, Clown House. I mean, uh, he's directed uh, yeah, so Something in the Basement. I mean, all those ones are horror stories, but this one's more of a slice of life, a look into. I mean, without even any body horror, because like he's just an albino kid. He's not. It's not like there's anything really grotesque about this character at all. It's
No.
not like he's a hunchback of Notre Dame or anything like that. He's got a lot of. This is someone with just a sweet presence who is treated like shit because people in small towns are evil, and people who are high school students can be so cruel,
Mm-hmm.
so cruel. Oh my gosh. And he overshadows all of them by being willing to forgive, willing to help, willing to do all these things. And then finally, the noble sacrifice. I just, blows my mind. Anyway, I can see why it brings tears to your eyes. It didn't make me cry. It made me exultant. It wasn't a crying movie. It was like a
It was, yeah, it was. It's a happiness. It's the way that people you feel the emotions, um,
mhm.
and I must have realised if I watched this, I would end up in tears because the last time I watched it, I ended up crying. So,
Uh-huh.
uh,
Uh-huh.
but it's for me that says it's a good movie. For me, there's two of the outstanding segments in this movie is on the camping trip where he confronts the deputy sheriff
Oh
um,
yeah.
when he's not supposed to be hunting deer, but he shoots a deer. So what does Jeremy do? Grabs the deer and grabs the deputy sheriff and sort of transfers the the anxiety, the emotions from the dying deer into the deputy sheriff. He's feeling that deer die. No,
Mhm.
that's a great scene.
Oh my gosh. That
Um,
is really incredible.
I mean, that's
And
enough.
that's actually like one of the pictures that is most famous from this movie. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, and after that segment, that the deputy sheriff won't hold a gun anymore, or will not go hunting, and so some good out of that came. And then the other scene is with the sheriff, with his ill wife who's dying, but he's holding on and holding on until he reconciles with his son. Um, and he does the sort of same thing where Jeremy puts his hand on the sheriff's wife and transfers all these thoughts to the sheriff. An amazing, amazing. I mean, great performances. I mean, Lance Henriksen is an amazing actor. I've always liked him. But in this, it's the emotions of what come out of these main characters, and the Jeff Goldblum character, Doctor Ripley, where he's just talking to him,
Yeah,
and then he just starts touching his hand and stroking his head because he's never had that contact with people.
yeah,
There's a funny bit there where he makes his hair stand up on end as well. I'm going to see a
yeah,
trick. But it's bringing those characters together,
yeah.
and
It's sweet.
Jeremy being in their lives, changing their lives. He's done a good thing.
Yeah.
Um, but I would like to say a thank you to Sean Patrick Flannery for liking the tweet from last week.
Oh,
Is it
nice.
a tweet or is it an X now? I don't know. But,
No, don't please. That's really kind of you for noticing and
yeah,
for
he liked it.
maybe you should watch this video
He
and
might be.
just know that I just binged Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, and I just think the world of you. I think you're a great actor.
Yeah, I know he's promoting his new movie. I can't remember what it's called now. Is it Nephras or something like that? But yeah, I noticed there was a little like on the one of the little likes, and it was him. So thanks for that. So, anything else you'd like to say about Powder?
Um, Nefarious. That's his next piece, and it's from and the weapon, and just did Frank and Penelope, and he played Gunpowder in The Boys. And love The Boys, I do, but I really enjoyed Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. I watched it before. I went and saw Alex, and I went and saw the um the the Dial of Destiny, and I just thought that was really an amazing movie too. Uh, the way that this small group of actors, actually not a very big cast, 25 people or something, actually created like what felt like a pretty big scene of a town, and showed sort of a life outside of the school and life outside of the sheriff's department. But the sheriff's department was, struggling under, buckling down under corruption and fear, much the way, and you could supplant someone who is completely black, with the super dark skinned black person in place of Jeremy,
Mm,
in that role or in that place. And the response would have been the same. Like the trouble with the sheriff's department in this story, and in the story of so many other places right now, is that they are operating in a spirit of fear, and they are treating people like shit because of it. And sheriffs and police departments You know, how how can they have so much fear when they have the, especially in the United States, the armament of our military, basically the surplus armament of our military. How can our police be afraid of people with difference? You know, it blows my fucking mind that people are the the police and the sheriffs and everything are afraid, and they operate out of such a spirit of fear. I mean, to be honest, like Jeremy was a good character, a good guy.
Mm.
And that's like all these super cool dark black people are good guys. And this impetus towards fear is just, I don't know, I don't know why they have this going on. I mean, unless it's something that's happening due to information and brainwashing, I don't know where the fear is coming from. I mean, and Jeremy is, uh, the only kind of power that he has is this natural affinity for electricity. For, I mean, I loved how they were looking at it, at his house, and he has like 10 or 15
Yeah.
lightning rods up on the roof. I'm like, and one of the people who was like looking at his roof said, "Never seen this many lightning rods on anybody's." I think it was the Jeff Goldblum character. I know I've never seen as many this many lightning rods on anybody's roof. Now, it's just fun. That was Donald Ripley. Yeah. So I just thought that was something amazing anyway.
It's,
And that's my geeky rant about the American police forces. How can they be afraid?
no, no, no. Is this the first time you've seen this movie then,
Oh
Susan?
yes, quite.
Oh, so that's another one. What it's come from Lee's suggestion.
Yeah,
But
yeah, absolutely.
I like it when that happens where you've never seen the movie before and you're quite intrigued by it.
Hmm.
So that's good to know.
Good to watch.
Um,
Good to watch these things with
yeah,
you.
yeah. So I used to own it. I used to own it on VHS back in the 90s.
Oh no.
It's always stuck with me, this movie. Um, I just for me the performances from Goldblum, Henriksen, Steenbergen, and Flannery are just top notch. Um, I mean, you even had Ray Wise in there
I know.
as the as Doctor Stripler. Only a small part cameo, but it was good to see Ray Wise. Um, I wonder how many hours in makeup
I don't know.
did
He was well
who
done.
yeah,
That was
because
good makeup
it
effects.
was, yeah. I mean, and he had his head shaved as well.
Yeah.
So he must have been a while getting all whitened up and
Yep.
very. You'd have to be a very patient person to have all that done. Um, but yeah, an amazing movie. Anything else you want to say about this?
Uh first
I
I
mean,
thought it was a movie about drugs, but it's just because it's called powder. And then
oh, God.
they don't actually call him powder until the end of the movie anyway.
He calls himself Powder at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, she asks him what's his name, and he says Powder, and she says, "Is that a nickname?"
Oh,
And then he tells her it's Jeremy. But
okay.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
it's such a powerful, emotional roller coaster ride of a movie. This for me.
True.
So when it comes to the scoring of this, I think people might know what I'm going to say. So, any, do you
Another
want to
thing
say
is that
anything?
this will lead nicely into the possibility of our reviewing the TV show Powers,
Ah,
because it's a similar story. Anyway, go on.
we shall see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, so, final scene score. Do you want to go for that?
sure.
Over to you.
All right. Well, I really, yeah, the cast was amazing. I mean, it had it had it had like Missy Kreider, Susan Terrell,
Mhm.
Bradford Tatum, Brandon Smith, Lance Henriksen, Jeff Goldblum, Sean Penn, and I will give this. Yeah, I'll give this 10 lightning rods out of 10. I thought I was going to give it lower than that, but I'm just going to say that there was nothing to pull it down. I was looking yeah, I was going to do 9 or 9.5, but there really wasn't anything to pull the score down. So just because of just to be like, to be infinitely positive, it really was a 10 lightning rods, 10. And what was your final say score, Lee?
Well, for me, as I say, a powerful, moving, emotional movie, acted so well by all the cast. Um, and for Sean Patrick Flannery to take this movie as the lead and to give that performance as
Yeah.
Powder, it's just out of this world. So for me, it's going to be 10 dancing cutleries out of 10. If you see the scene in the canteen,
Oh my God, that was so fun.
But yeah, an amazing movie, and a movie what makes you shed tears without even knowing you're shedding tears. Yeah, because sometimes you're crying, but sometimes you don't know you're crying, and you just feel the tears down. That's what I was like again today. This bloody movie does it. It's done it again, and I think it's an underappreciated movie, and
So,
I don't think a lot of people know about this, and but they should. So that's our little review of Powder from the mid-90s. Um, I'd like to thank Susan for sitting down and watching this movie for the first time. I'm glad she enjoyed it because sometimes she doesn't.
in in 2 more years, it's going to be 30 years old. I mean, that's amazing. I've never seen it or heard about it.
um, you guys out there, if you haven't seen it, please go watch it because I fully recommend this movie. Um, and if you do watch it, let us know. Leave a comment below on the video. The video can be found on all forms of social media, be it YouTube, Facebook, um, Twitter, or X. It's all confusing that platform at the moment. It's
Yeah,
I don't know, but we're there. But so leave a
we
leave a
we
comment.
might we might start a threads or even a tribal. Who knows?
Who knows? Um, yeah, so leave a comment below about the movie. And leave a comment below if you'd like to join the group. Message us on those social media platforms and get in touch. Um, all you need to be is 18 plus to get involved, because some things we talk about are 18 rated.
Yep.
All you need is a microphone and a camera,
Yep.
which can be on a laptop or a PC or a tablet or even your phone, mobile phone. As long as you've got those and you're 18, come and join us, and we'll talk about anything, audio dramas, movies, TV stuff, as long as it's all geeky to us, we'll
Stop.
talk about it. Um,
10
so
out of 10, man.
10 out of 10. Yeah, sometimes we do score things low because
It's true.
we
Some
we
things are just rubbish.
yeah, and we do review some rubbish,
It's true.
and
This one,
sometimes sometimes
this thing wasn't though. This thing was fucking amazing.
and sometimes people say our reviews are rubbish,
Uh,
but yeah, we don't care.
yep.
So until next time, guys, please, please look after your fellow man and look to the skies.